It's okay. So I guess when I came in here, I was a prima donna. That room's too small. I need this, I need that, I need the other. Does anybody know why I did that? It's not because I'm a prima donna, it's because it's my brand. It's my brand. And if I don't feel comfortable in that room, my brand will suffer. I will suffer. So from day one, remember, it's what's important to you. So when you're in a home and the homeowner says to you, you know, don't really like the way you're doing that. Who is the professional? Whose brand will be left behind in the home when you've done the staging? Yours? Why did they hire you? So stick to what you know is right, otherwise your brand will suffer. Does that make sense? And I'm sure you've had homeowners telling you, you know, or you know, when you're selling a home or staging, or when you're doing your interior design, that's not right, I know the way to do it. So why did they hire you? Yeah? So basically stick to your brand, because your brand is what will get you recognised. So I've actually been in business with motivational steps for 18 years, and obviously it took me a long time to get to the place I am now. I invented social media, that's why they call me the social sweetheart. I didn't really, it sounds good to tell people that. I did everything the hard way. I didn't have social media to help me. So today, social media is your friend if you know how to use it. A lot of people don't know how to use social media to make their brand really stand out and be recognised and be memorable. And wherever I go now, and this is not because I'm being, you know, a snob or big-headed, people say, Linda, you're not wearing pink if I'm wearing white, and I've got a day off because pink is the colour I like to wear. Or, you know, Linda, I remember you speaking at a conference, do you remember me? I'm very, very memorable. But it's because my brand is everywhere. I take it everywhere with me, and it's always on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever you want to use. So networking is a very big part of my life because I do it well, and I'm sure Maureen or Wendy told you I'll be bringing my book along tonight at a special price. It is a bestseller. It is on Amazon, but you get it at a really good price tonight. And in the back is a networking strategy. And even if you don't network, you will find some benefits from it. I'm picking on you. What I want to do now is ask you all a question. Has anybody got a favourite brand? Apple, that's my favourite. I love Apple. Apple's different. Any more? Have you got a favourite brand? So that's it for favourite brands. We've just got 2 people have a favourite brand. So I guess we all want loyal clients, don't we? Yeah, we want loyal clients. So you're loyal to Apple and you're loyal to Samsung. Why are you loyal to Apple, do you know?
Experience. The experience of the product.
That's very important to you. So basically, you want to offer an excellent experience, the same as Apple does.
Yeah.
So instead of reinventing the wheel, you looked at a famous brand and thought, you know, I like what you're doing, I will emulate you. And that's what we should all be doing. So you guys must never shop anywhere. You haven't got a car, you haven't got a phone, you haven't got a house, you haven't got a watch. You guys don't shop anywhere, because if you do, you're not loyal to any brand. But now the penny is dropping, isn't it? I love Virgin, Richard Branson, not just because he's a Brit, but basically because he's very much like me. The only difference is he's a multi-millionaire and I'm working my way up to being maybe a millionaire in 100 years if I'm lucky. One of the things that stands out about Richard Branson that I really love, he never forgets where he came from, where he started, who helped him, and he always gives back. Attracts like. I mean, do we ever really want to do business with somebody we don't like and respect? Show of hands if it's a yes. No. So nobody will do business with you if they don't like and trust you. Research the brands that I really like, because we're still growing, however old our business we start with. So I'll research the brands I like, and then I'll say, well, you know, you're doing a really good job with your customer service, and that's very important to me. But if I don't know how they're making a really good job at it, I'll read the blogs, I'll read the articles, I'll look at the advertisements on the TV. So it makes our life a bit easier, doesn't it, if we have a favourite brand. International Women's Day for tomorrow. I'm a bit early, but this story you're going to love. I got my first job in Canada in a shoe store because a guy said I had a nice smile. Now, how male chauvinistic is that? We're not going to pick on you. I don't mind. It got me a job 18 years ago, no, 20 odd years ago, more than 20 years ago. It got me a job. I'd never worked in a store before. I also sold vacuums. So I'm no good at sales. I'm working in a shoe store. I was selling vacuums not very well. And I cleaned in the Waterloo Hotel, if anybody knows the word. I had 3 jobs. I was really struggling. So the question most people ask me is, well, how did you escape those 3 jobs and travel the world, write 3 books and do everything you're doing today? It's because I worked on my brand. My surgeon says to me, your operation to remove your breast is Friday the 13th of August. I'm not at all superstitious, I don't know whether you guys are. And he said, I had a really good idea. We're going to give you implants on the same day we take your breasts away. And I thought that was amazing. And I thought I'd end up looking like Pamela Anderson or something, because I breastfed 4 kids and they were no good by now, so I thought, you know. And basically those implants lasted 2 weeks. I had a massive infection, I really did. And then I had to take them away, and I was a mess. And as I say, I'm very thankful that, you know, my husband didn't run away from me. He didn't. But that changed my life forever. And I think challenges in our lives and the opportunities that come with them is what makes us successful. Do you agree? Those challenges can be turned into opportunities. So do you all know that content marketing, adding the content to your website, fresh content, or in blogs and articles and magazines, do you all know that gets you a really good online presence? Yeah? And you all doing this? No? It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity, because before social media came in, I did it everywhere. I did it newsletters that in those days, you know, weren't sent in an email, you know, were sent in an email rather than they were online. I would send my content everywhere. And before you knew it, everybody knew Linda Ockwell-Jenner within 2 years. And what's come from that now, I have my own show on there since last year called the Small Business Show. So basically, as years have gone on, I've added to my brand. I'm now a TV celebrity. I'm a joke, I'm being a celebrity. I slowly started building my brand, and I did what a lot of people don't do today. Not you guys, you've been in business a long time, but I don't believe you can be successful selling as a stranger, holding your overcoat open and saying, I've got cat food in here, I've got knives in here, I've got a table under my arm. It's like a sleazy salesman, isn't it? Especially people didn't know who I was. I didn't have a brand. I didn't have an online presence. I was a stranger. They would come to you guys versus me because they knew you. I had no background in corporate. I had to build foundations to make my brand stand out. I wrote my book after 4 years of being in business with motivational steps because I had another operation. So I turned it into an opportunity. And that first book was part of my brand. It's still part of my brand. So anything we can do to make a brand. Let me stress though, every part of your brand is going to be looked at and picked to pieces. So if we look at Facebook as an example, I'm not being rude to people. Everybody's doing like FaceTime Live, and they're looking up and they're looking down and they're looking around and they look stupid. Yeah. If you are going to do videos, podcasts, content, please make it as professional as possible. You will be judged. It is your brand. This is my 3rd book, and my 2nd book, The 8th Philosophy for Everything Money Can't Buy, was also very, very popular. But this is the book I didn't want to write. But because people knew I'd built my business by networking, building relationships and being really honest, they wanted me to write this book. I wrote the book. Obviously, it helps my brand, but you know that your brand is recognised and respected when people come to you and say, please write the book. We want to know how you did it. So my brand represents community investments. It represents health and wellness. Obviously, it represents motivation. I'm all very transparent. So have a little think about what your brand represents. So this is a really good way to talk about your brand. Does anybody know what this is? It's a clock, right? And as you can see, it has numbers 1 to 12. That's normal for a clock, isn't it? And it does have the two hands. Now, what do you think would happen if, oh look, it's happened. There's a number missing. Number 3. Now, do you think it's difficult to tell the time because number 3? And, oh look, there's a hand missing. So that clock is not efficient, is it? It's not working properly. So can anybody shout out an element of their brand that they believe is missing, that they haven't got? So if we all think of our brand like that clock, right? Think about how many elements are in a brand. I like, because we're using the clock, to say you have 12 elements to your brand, right? So I've talked about your message being consistent. That's a very important element of your brand. So we've all met the people who are pushy and want to sell to us and insist they know better than us. Let's be honest about it, right? It happens to everybody. We've all met the person who, when they're networking, say, I know how I can help you. Well, how do they know that they can help you if they don't even know you, right? So if your message is coming over the wrong way, your customers are going to go the other way. So your message has to be consistent. Another part of your brand, obviously, is your marketing material, right? So we've got our website, we've got our business cards. What else do we have? Well, in my case, videos, flyers. Sorry?
Flyers.
Flyers. Flyers are amazing as long as you remember to measure the success of those flyers. I know somebody told me yesterday they spent, I think it was $10,000 on advertising in a magazine. $10,000, that's a lot of money. Yeah? And I said, have you done this before? And they said no. I said, how will you measure the success of that? They go, I don't know. So at the end of that magazine run, let's say they're in a magazine for 3 months and they don't get any success or clients, what are they going to do? They're going to blame the magazine for taking the money off them because they didn't get them any clients. So first of all, part of your brand is knowing what you need for your business, where your money should be spent so you don't waste money. Does that make sense? And pay-per-click and stuff like that, if you are going to use all that stuff, measure the success. Don't blame the resource you're using. You need to know why you're using those resources. And that would be part of your brand, because then it will say that the content is sponsored and people will know you've paid for that content. And sometimes people don't like it when they see a sponsored. You see it on Facebook and everywhere. Sometimes people don't like that. They think, oh, you know, they've got too much money. But I don't want to be a trophy on anybody's wall. I don't want to be your 1,000, can't say it, 1,000, 101 person on your wall. I don't want to be that person. I'm serious about selling and growing my business and growing my brand. So what is the point of me connecting to anybody if you're not going to engage with me? So for a year, listen to this, people, this new baby in business, one day, congratulations, has been planning, building strong foundations. So when she spends her money on marketing material, she knows what kind of brand she wants on there. That is amazing. You will do well, my angel. So that is a big part of your brand. You've got the longevity of working in the corporate world. You know exactly what you're doing. Because today, there's so many people in business, and after a year, if they haven't made any money, they walk away. And then they've got customers who are left disappointed because there's no follow-up. And so what you're doing, you're saying, I'm here for the long run. I'm going to be here for a long time. That's amazing. And so I started connecting to people, you know, on LinkedIn and saying I'll be in Geneva and having little coffee meetings and my own little network meetups. And that is how I built my brand there. And I do it all over the world now, and it's such fun. But I guess the point I'm making is we can't sell to strangers. If we haven't got a brand, we will go unnoticed. I see so many people on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter who are like invisible. They're just trying to sell, trying to sell. They're not connecting with anybody. They're not displaying that they are community-minded and like to give back. They're not displaying that they're doing anything different to anybody else. So why would anybody look at them? And when you're networking and you walk into a room and people want to come and talk to you, you know then that people are interested in what you've got to say. And if people are not coming to talk to you, well, then make the effort to go to them and find out as much as possible about them. These are really some of the elements that you might already have in your brand, or you might not. So you're offering benefits, you're offering value. You know your target market, and that target market is loyal to you. It's your message, and your message is consistent, and people will pass on your message if they like you. I have so many brand ambassadors now. Your products, they will talk about your products and services. Culture is very important today, I really, really believe. We've got to be really careful with cultures in the organisations we're going in to work with, or in the homes of the people we're going to work with. We've got to be careful about the culture. And it's so easy. What I did, I researched all the different cultures in the different countries and how they do business. Can you shake a hand? Can you not shake a hand? Do you have to curtsy or bow? And that really helps, because if you are appreciating somebody else's culture, they really like it. Make it part of your brand. Your marketing materials we've talked about, please make them consistent and make them memorable. Price is very important. You're either going after the clients who are price conscious, and really they only have, want you to work with them because they can afford you, and they can't afford anybody else. You really don't want the ones who are picking at the price, because they'll bounce from one person to another. So in your price, that is part of your brand. Be very sure that you're not going to dilly-dally with people, because they will pass it on to their friends, and that'll be part of your brand. He's the cheapest, she's the fastest. You want to be known for sticking to your price because you are the best and you offer the best value. What I wanted to do was display how I've built my brand. It's been sheer hard work. It's been looking at the changes in the world today, looking at the different cultures, looking at how social media can help me. I became the social sweetheart because people think I'm friendly and nice. They don't really know the real me. I try to be mean to people sometimes if they offend me, and they have no idea I'm being mean to them because I'm doing it too nice. So I suppose I'm stuck with that brand. If the message that came out of my mouth was rubbish, it doesn't matter if I wear pink and I wear high heels, and I'm called the social sweetheart. If what I say is a load of rubbish, nobody's going to be my brand ambassador. So I have lots of different elements in my brand, and I want you guys to go home tonight, and if you're not too tired, set a goal to, you can either have a round clock like mine, where's my clock? You can have any kind of clock you want, but try and work on having your brand elements, and you don't need 12, you can have 6, you can have 7, you can have 2 or 3, but if you know what your brand represents, people will come to you and say, we want to work with you because. And it is nice being recognised. It is nice people coming up and saying, can I buy your book? I'm going to admit it, especially after working those 3 crappy jobs.